all about two young boys who were causing a lot of trouble. And their mother didn't know what to do. And so the mother was getting frustrated because they were troublemakers. She didn't know what to do. So one day she calls in the local preacher and says, "Preacher, would you speak to my boys?" The preacher says, "Sure. Send down the younger one. Send down little Billy." Billy comes down, and the preacher looks at him and says, "Billy, where's God?" Billy says, "No." The preacher says, "Billy, where's God?" Billy says, "I don't know." And the preacher gets animated. He says, "Billy, where's God?" And Billy goes, "I don't know." He runs upstairs. He dives underneath his bed. And his brother Jimmy comes and says, "Billy, what happened?" He says, "Jimmy, we're in big trouble this time. God is missing, and they think we did it." I'll tell you something. You hear the story, you think about it, but I always say something. That we honestly, in a certain way, we are those kids. In a certain way, we are. And I'll tell you why we are. Because if I ask us, in our lives, do we feel the spirituality, the unity, the connection, or is it missing in our lives? That's a frightening thing. And I want to claim that somehow we're all a bit like those boys. Because it's missing, and I hate to say it, but in a certain way, we did it. Why? Because if you go and you look at the beautiful sky outside, the beautiful music, I love it. It was good stuff. I like it. So the beautiful sky, you see the day and you say, "Wow, it's beautiful." Do I feel turned on? Do I feel connected? Do I feel one with everything? We're with beautiful people here. Does everyone feel like united together? You go home and you see your kids. You dance. It's good with the beautiful music. That's it. I know. It wants us to dance. That's the next thing. We have to dance. So you go home and you see your kids, you see your family, you see your loved ones. Do you feel the total connection? Do you feel it? And if you don't, it's a question, why are we missing that? What's going on? So on one hand, I kind of think, you say, "Hey, the rabbi told us a nice joke, and now he's telling us there's something wrong with us." But I want to tell you, don't worry. Because the reason why we don't feel it is not so much our fault fully. And I'm going to explain to you why. Does anyone here speak any Hebrew by any chance? Or a little bit, okay. So good. I want to tell you something. There's an amazing thing. The mystics talk about the ancient biblical Hebrew language and the secrets you could find out from all the... Okay. This isn't a comedy. It's great. That's awesome. All right. That's what I like to roll. Let's do it. Yeah, how are we doing there? Yeah? Okay. So now, if you go and you look at the ancient Hebrew biblical language, you'll find mystical secrets. Now, I'm gonna try this for anyone who speaks Hebrew here. Does anyone know what the word olam means?
World.
Okay, tikkun is fixing. What's olam? World, right? And that is true. The modern Hebrew translation of the word olam is world. Now, I want to give you a little caveat to this. I used to teach in Hebrew University, and I used to teach my students the etymology of the words, which meant when they would go to the Hebrew class, and the Hebrew teacher would say, "What does this word mean?" And she'd explain what they mean. They'd pick their hands up and go, "But Rabbi Ingber said it doesn't mean that." And she'd go, "Ingber, foiled again." So, it might not be so simple. So what do you want to take a chance? What does the word olam mean? You think it means world still?
All there is.
What?
All there is.
All there is? Yeah. The literal translation is olam is world. But I want to tell you, it's not what it literally means. Literally, the word olam is the word laha'alim. Laha'alim means to hide, to conceal. Why does that have to do with the idea of the world? I want to tell you an amazing mystical idea, but it's so fundamental. Because the world exists as it does, because the endless light is concealed to a degree that you could understand, you have your separate existence, you can have free will to choose, because if the truth was all revealed, would see, wow, I'm connected with everything. You would have a state where you can never do something negative. So ladies and gentlemen, you know what's happening in the world? You are all invited to the greatest hide-and-seek game ever. That's what's going on. Unity, godliness is concealed. But we have the ability to uncover it in the smiles of our loved ones, in the sunset. It's all there. And once we hook into it, it is a powerful explosion. I want to ask you guys, let's take a little poll here. There's nothing, free answers, don't you feel any pressure or anything. How many people, at a show of hands, believe or think or have a inkling that maybe there is an omnipotent force exists in this world? You can call it God, you can call it a great spirit, whatever you want to call it. How many people, at a show of hands, think that there exists such an omnipotent entity in some way? Let me show of hands. Okay, very good. It's a religious crowd, looks like. Okay, now, I'm going to ask you a little harder question. How many people here believe that this force, whatever you call it, is beneficent, is all good? Well, a little less, but pretty good majority. Okay, now, watch this. For those of you who believe that, here is the issue. For those of you who don't, we'll get to that in a second. For those of you who believe that, here's the issue. If you believe that there is a beneficent, omnipotent force, okay, if you believe that, that means that in your life and everything in this entire universe, everything should be moving towards being great. By definition. If it's an omnipotent force, and he's good, or it's good, whatever you want to call it, so then everything should be moving in my world and the entire universe towards good. And my question for you then is, why are we not all jumping for joy? We should be dancing in the aisles. I mean, think about it. If that is true, what you just said you believe, then what happens is the world is great. You have a challenge in life. You should feel, oh my gosh, this is an opportunity for me because it's all going someplace great. And the fact that we don't all feel that is why I wrote the book that I wrote. That was why I wrote the book. And for those of you who don't believe that, I wanted to give you another opportunity to share another way to see the world, the way the mystics tell us the world is. And if you open our eyes and we look at a possibility of how the world can be, that can be transformative to us. Really could change our lives. And so therefore, the idea of this book that I wrote called Where Heavens Kiss the Earth is threefold. Three ideas here. One idea is to share the ideas that the ancient mystics, the Kabbalists brought down to us that are mindsets that will transform our lives. That's goal one. Goal two is that to make those ideas make sense to us intellectually. Everyone here is a very intelligent person. Sometimes you hear little snippets of people saying their ideas, they don't fit in exactly. So we go through a lot of philosophical concepts to make them make sense. And the third idea we try to accomplish is to take the idea from the thought to how to live your life that way. Okay? So I want to go through some of those ideas. I want to start with giving you some mindsets of things we talk about in the book, with the Kabbalists, the mystics reveal to us how the world is built, and I maintain if we, not you, me, all of us, understand and incorporate that, we'll be dancing for joy. We'll be literally seeing our world as an opportunity in every single second. Okay? Let's try that. Let's take one idea. This concept I want to share with you a second is, I think, in my opinion, is the most important question you could ever ask yourself in life. The most important question. Now, here's the problem. The problem is you might have a bachelor's, you might have a master's, you might have a PhD, you might have 3 PhDs, and you may never have answered this question. And in my humble opinion, This is the most important question we need to know to live a successful life. So here it is. 6 words. The question of questions. What the heck? Heck is the influence. That's just emphasis there. Okay. What the heck are we doing here? I don't mean the Decatur Book Festival. It's beautiful. It's great. It's a nice place. What are we doing here? What are we doing in life? That's a very important idea. What are we doing here? And I want to share with you what the mystics tell us. But I have one condition, though. What I'm going to tell you makes no sense. Okay? So you got to throw things at me. Steve, you have tomatoes to give out to the crowd here. You have vegetables, we give them back to Steve there. So what I'm going to say makes no sense. You have to say, Rabbi, it makes no sense. The mystics tell us the reason why we are here is to be able to experience the ultimate and maximum pleasure. What? What? Tomatoes, please! That's crazy. It makes no sense. This world's difficult. And what are we saying? We're saying, oh, so we should just, let's go to the bar, let's go! Pleasure! That's crazy. What does this mean? This makes no sense. So I want to share with you the deeper meaning of what this is. First of all, I would ask you a question. What is the greatest pleasure you could imagine? That's a hard question. Let's take someone here who loves hamburgers. Like hamburgers? Who's got his hand up there? What's your name?
Reed, R-E-E-D.
Reed? Okay. Reed, you got brothers, you got sisters?
One sister right there.
One sister, that's your sister. Okay. You got any pets?
Yes, one crazy dog.
Crazy. It's gonna be tough. Okay. Okay. Now, Reed, you like hamburgers, though. Okay. Now, I want to ask you a question. You really like hamburgers?
Yes.
We are going to provide for you a lifetime supply of hamburgers if you trade your sister for the hamburgers. You gotta think about it. I should stay with the dog, you see? What do you think, Reed?
I could get sick of hamburgers and I'll get sick of my sister.
You're brilliant. You're brilliant. And I tell you, what Reed said was so deep. It was so deep. I can't even tell how deep what he just said. Because the truth is, all physical pleasures are what Reed said. Once you eat that hamburger and it was delicious, and you loved it, I gave you 5 of them. You ate them all up. And then I say, you know what? I have great news for you. I have another one! But you have to eat it right now. Are you going to eat it? No. Because all physical pleasures are limited based on time and space. They all work the same. You get hungry, you want to fulfill it. You fulfilled it, you don't want it anymore. You get hungry, you want it. They're all like that. Physical pleasures are bound by time and space. And therefore, as Reed correctly said, you're going to get sick of it. He's right. But love you don't get sick of. You can't say, you know, I love you, it's enough already. You know, I mean, you know, it's good, but like, I don't want to get that much love here. No, you don't feel that way. Because love's already touching on a spiritual experience. It's touching on something that's not bound by the physical. And therefore, the greatest pleasures you could imagine is the experience of connecting to the infinite. Just like love. You know, I do this thing, I do something called neuro-linguistic programming. It's called NLP. And it's a system, we ask people, we say, tell me, what would you like? People say, you know what I want? Oh man, I want a better job. You got it. Now what do you want? Oh, I want a lot of money. Now you got it. What do you want now? I want a giant house. Now you got it too. What do you want now? Inevitably, everyone ends up with the same thing. At a certain point, they say, I want love, I want unity, I want connection. It switches from physical things to spiritual pleasures. And what happens is, in this world, we have an opportunity to work towards the greatest pleasure, which is to experience the infinite. Wow, that'd be Pretty good. Pretty good. Let me explain how this works. You got a volunteer here? What's your name?
Nicole.
Nicole. Nicole, this is a really tough thing I want to ask you, but would you mind if I gave you $10 billion now?
I think I'll take it.
Good. Okay. We give Nicole $10 billion. Now what happens? Nicole becomes the favorite person of everyone here and everyone in the world. And you have little Nicole dolls and little Nicole banners, Now, Nicole, what happens is you're feeling great because you got $10 billion. Now, one day, we throw a big event celebrating Nicole for just being Nicole. Oh, because we love you. Now, what happens is there are thousands of people here at this auditorium to honor you, and they bring you up to the stage. Nicole, ladies and gentlemen, Nicole! You come up, and you're looking, you feel great, everyone loves you now. And then, at the second you come to the microphone, me, the person that gave you all that money, I walk into the back of the room and I wave. Hey, remember me? What happens to your feeling of, wow? Do you know why? Because you didn't do anything to earn it. You didn't do anything to earn it. And that's a hard feeling for a human being. Now I want to explain to you why Kabbalists say we were created. They say the following. The great Kabbalists explain the following idea. They say, before a person is born, the soul is experiencing tremendous pleasure, experiencing godliness, experiencing the greatest pleasure. But there's one problem. They have something called Nahama Dikasufa, which means bread of shame. Because we haven't done anything to earn that. So what happens? At that moment, the soul comes down into this world with the opportunity to earn their connection to spirituality, to make it ourselves. It was great up there. It was wonderful. It was like the $10 billion, but it wasn't yours. You know why you're in this world? Because you have an opportunity right now to make yourself great, to earn your own spiritual connection. That's unbelievable. It means what I do in this world counts now. I have a purpose that I can go and make myself and the world a better place and experience that great connection forever. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if you understand that idea, that's very good. Wow. I mean, my life is purposeful. I have an opportunity now to get out into the world, do things that are going to change the world, improve the world, and improve myself. And make myself great and allow myself to experience and be sensitive to that greatness. That's unbelievable. It's a new way to see the world. That's one concept, one mindset of understanding, and we go to in great depth how that works. But when you think about it, that's fantastic. My world is meaningful. That makes a difference. Okay, if you take questions on that one, I want to do one or two more. Any questions on that one I said now about purpose and how that works? And again, let me summarize. The idea being that you have an opportunity to come into this world with difficult choices. And I know we all have a lot of difficulties and a lot of challenges. But every time you choose right, you're developing yourself and making yourself, by your own choice, to be someone that's sensitive, that could appreciate that spirituality and that connection. This world and after, for eternity also.
How do you make the connection?
How do you get the connection? So, great question. Fantastic. The way you get it is when you're in this world right now, you're pulled different ways, right? Every day of your life, and every moment, there's a situation where something's pulling you this way and something's pulling you that way, okay? You know, you have these, you're with some people, and you have some friends, and your friend got you upset, and you can really tell them off right now, and you can insult them. There's another party that says, you know what? I'm gonna rise above my lower traits, and I'm not gonna lay into them. And when you do that, don't you feel good afterwards? When you have that battleground in your life where you can do something negative and you overcome it, then you feel good. You know why? Because that's the way you're earning the connection. That's the way you make yourself great and the world around you great. Those are the things, those are the processes in the world. In Jewish thinking, there's a concept called mitzvot. Mitzvot are sort of poorly translated as commandments. It's not what the Kabbalah say they mean. A mitzvah is a connection. It's doing an act in this world that connects you to something higher. And all positive acts that you make are your free will choices, are building your connection to that eternity. And that's what you have. Very good question. Any other questions on this one point? I want to give you one other point to understand some of the things we talk about. Yeah? Make sense? All right, good. Let me give you another example. Let's play the game, the Hebrew game again. Okay. Those who know Hebrew, could someone tell me what the Hebrew word is for the word ra? You know what ra means?
Evil or bad.
Ah, very good. Ra means bad or evil, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wrong, it doesn't mean that. I told you already. I told you to say it. Now, everyone says, God, this is basic Hebrew, Rabbi. Come on. Basic Hebrew, Ra means bad. Now, it's not exactly true. It's called, the word Ra is translated as bad or evil. But I want to show you it's a different concept. Here's the concept. There's about to be a Jewish holiday called Rosh Hashanah. We do a very strange thing. We blow a ram's horn. And we have different sounds that we make. One sound is doo. We have sound doo, doo, doo. And then there's one sound that goes doo, 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 doo. That sound is called a truah. Truah. The root of the word is the same word as ra, as evil. What? Why is it the same word? The guy is bad at blowing the shofar. He sounds bad. What is the connection? What does that mean? And here's what it means. The word ra, which is called evil, in its true root means a broken, fragmented thing. Doesn't mean evil. Ra, which is called evil, means a piece, a broken, fragmented thing, like that sound, do, 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 do. And let me show you how that works. Imagine you see a guy wearing a mask, okay? And he's got a knife. And he's moving towards his victim inch by inch, step by step. Get nervous out there, all right? He's moving. Now you see this, and there's a problem. You want to stop the guy. So you run and say, "Stop, are you crazy? What are you doing? You chop the guy's leg off? You got..." The person says to you, "Sir, do you know who you are? You're in an operating theater. This man has gangrene. If you don't amputate now, he would die." "Oh, excuse me." I'm leaving. What happened? What happened was you saw a broken, fragmented piece. You didn't see the whole story. So what you saw was an act of someone cutting off someone's leg. But in reality, it was an act of saving a person's life. That's the Jewish idea, or the mystical idea of Ra. What you experience, what we experience as negative, is because we're not seeing the whole picture. And listen to this freeing concept. If we believed it for 1 second, our lives would be transformed. The freeing concept is that everything that happens in our reality is for our own good. Oh, how could you say that? You know what I went through? It's terrible. I know. Believe me, I know. People went through a lot of hard things in this world. A lot of hard things. You know? My mother's an Auschwitz survivor, you know. It's a little bit tough to digest that. But the deeper meaning is that the things we go through that we feel they are painful. I'm not disqualifying it. They are painful. But if you could take a step back and say, wait a minute, the philosophical idea the mystics tell us is that all the things that happen to us that we see as negative because they're Ra, They're a fragment of a greater picture, some way in this interaction that is supposed to move me towards good. Ladies and gentlemen, if we get this mindset, I'm saying to myself, if we get this mindset that we talk about and the Kabbalah's revealed to us, we're transformed. Imagine walking around your life and feeling, wow, I'm not nervous. I'm making my efforts. I'm a partner to build the world, to make the world better, make myself better. It's going to a good place. And the challenges that come to me are for my good. And man, if I felt that way, I'd be dancing in the street. And we should all be doing that. Because that's the way the world really is. It really is that way. That's a freeing concept. And that's the first thing we go through in the book. I tried to go and to give a lot of these ideas and show the whole structure of sort of filtering down the ideas of the mystics, the Kabbalists, to show how these things, these mindsets are life transforming if we get them. Okay, that's the first thing I go through in the book. And the second thing we do in the book is that a lot of times when you hear the things I'm saying, people throw things out that don't really fit. Because everything's philosophically and doesn't work 100%. I'll give you an example. I just told you everything that happens is for good. So that's very, very sweet, Rabbi. It's a very, very nice idea. I love it. It's great. I feel good. Warms the cockles of my heart. It's great, Rabbi. But you take this idea and you take it seriously. Now, you have, let's say, a big job interview on Tuesday. All right? And you really want this job because it's going to change your life. Now, it's Labor Day. And Monday you decide to go out with some friends, you have a few drinks, a few too many, and you get sleep at 3 in the morning. And then your interview's at 9 in the morning and the alarm goes off at 8. Snooze. 8:15. Snooze. 8:30, you take your phone or whatever you're using as your alarm and you smash it against the wall. You wake up, 9:30. I missed the appointment. Oh my gosh, I lost the job. Oh, I'm such an idiot. What did I do? But no, I went to Rob Ingber's class. It's all for good. Oh, it's all for good. No problem. No. Doesn't work that way. And this is one thing to go through. I'll give you the answer. I won't buy the book for the answer now. But what happens is that these are very, very complicated things that need to be understood. There's a way that these things blend together. Yes, on one hand, we have free will, we choose. And in another way, a higher dimension, things are still being moved towards good. I'll give you a brief answer. Just imagine that a second. Everyone here ever play chess against the computer? No? Yeah? Did you ever win?
Me? In the 80s, but after that, no.
Yeah. You won or you played in the 80s?
No, I won in the 80s, but they're too good now.
Okay, all right. Okay. That's great. Wow. Now, why can't you beat the computer? The reason why you can't beat the computer is because for every move you make, there's all the permutations the computer knows. So imagine you played against an infinite computer, right? Not the 80s computers, the modern infinite computers. If you played against that, you would never win. Here, the good news is, though, when you play this game of life, the infinite, so to speak, computer in this analogy, once you win. And when I make the wrong move, I may have to go on a detour, but the response I'm going to get is going to keep getting me to where I have to go. I may go circuitously, I may make a lot of mistakes, but in the end, we're going to get you there. So the second part of the book is we go through the understanding of these ideas to make them make sense, because they are very, very complicated. And when you hear it, and you hear people of faith saying them, sometimes you get frustrated because you say, wait a minute, I understand, but it's not true. It doesn't work in this way. It's all for good, but this was bad. How do I make sense of that? So the second part of the book, I try to go into really philosophically, but in a way you can understand, we can all understand, make it make sense. And here I want to give one caveat about Kabbalah and what I'm trying to do in this book. Very often people go and you hear us speak about Kabbalah, when they walk in or they walk out, one of the things that people often say is, that speech was great. It was so deep and so awesome. I didn't understand a word the guy said. So why was it so good? I don't know. But somehow people feel that the Kabbalistic ideas, which are very, very difficult to understand. I mean, when I get one, I'm dancing around because it's fantastic. But they're very hard. I mean, you go to class on Kabbalah, sometimes they're like impossible to understand what the guy's talking about. We try to make this very, very real. And in the book, we try to explain exactly in normal human terms what's really going on. Trying to filter it to make it make sense for us. And the last thing that I try to accomplish here is, years ago there was a great Beatles song called The Long and Winding Road. Remember that song? It's a great song, great song. So I ask you, what is the longest road in the world? What would you say? Pan American Highway? You know what I think the longest road in the world is? The one that goes from here to here. That's a long road. That's a long road. Many times we know ideas in our head, but we can't bring them into our lives. And that's unfortunate. Because the mystics tell us the mind and the heart have to be one. It's called Trey and Dlo and Parshe. Two friends that never separate. They have to be united. And when I have a concept, I want it to translate into my emotional experience. And people can be philosophical and have ideas up in the air, but if it doesn't translate into our lives, then what do we do? And so the last part I try to do is to try to really make it make sense. And I give exercises and analogies and using meditation and different systems of counseling to try to take these concepts that the great sages reveal to us and bring them into our daily life. I saw a story once that happened. There's a guy named Martin, American guy who was visiting Israel, and he was there during the bombing by Sbarro. I remember there was a period of time where in Israel there was a pizza place that got bombed. What happened was this guy Martin was online to buy pizza at this restaurant, and he was busy. He was running. His flight was going back to the States. So he asked the guy that was behind him, "Would you hold my spot in line?" The guy said, "No problem." So he runs out to take care of his business, and he gets about 15 feet away, and he hears an explosion.
Oh.
And the place is gone. He runs back to find the guy who just saved his life, but the police have the place roped off. He can't get close. And he's trying to get in. He said, "Where's the guy? The guy saved my life. Get out of here. We can't help you." This guy Martin goes to every single hospital. He tries to find the guy. Can't find him. Finally gets to Shaare Zedek, a certain hospital. That's where he finds the guy. This guy's name is Yaakov. He finds him. He sits with him. "What can I do? You saved my life. You saved my life." He says, "Listen, I didn't do anything." This guy Martin says, "Listen, you saved my life." At the end, the guy said, "I didn't do anything, Martin, here's my card. You ever need anything, call me." Okay. 6 months later, this guy Martin gets a call from the victim, Yaakov's son. And he says, "Martin, listen, you left the card here, and I got to take it on your favor. Because my father needs surgery, and it's too complicated. They can't do it. We have to come to the States, and we don't know anybody. Maybe you could help us." Martin says, "I will take care of the whole thing. Don't worry, I'll take care of everything." He arranges the surgery. He takes care of the doctors, the hospital. He picks the guy up from the airport. He goes to sit by in the hospital when the surgery is happening. He does not go to his job that day. He has a day off. He doesn't go to his job in the World Trade Center. And the day was September 11th. I want to tell you something.
Wow.
That guy got it. It went to his heart. And you look around and you say, "Wow, this is real." And what happens is that if we all take a minute and think about these ideas that are so inspiring and freeing for us, and we put them in our hearts, and we live our lives by them, we're going to be happy, fulfilled people. We'll be able to connect as one people. It'll be amazing. Beautiful, beautiful situation, a beautiful world. So I want to give you also the blessing that we should be able to do that together and really understand and inspire each other and ourselves. Right?